Hello, Ethos Scholars. It's Miss Puri here, and today we are going to be finishing up our planets officially by learning about the outer planets. The outer planets. So we know that there's 8 planets in the solar system, and you did 4 of them with Mrs. Russell Oliver. You did the first 4 with Miss Russell Oliver, but now we're going to do the last 4 with Miss Puri. So let's zoom into the outer planets. So there are 4 outer planets. There's 4 of them. What do you think they are? I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to guess what the 4 outer planets are. And then we're going to look at some pictures. And maybe the pictures can help you to remember what those planets are. But first, I want you to take 10 silent seconds to think about what those 4 outer planets could be. Okay? 10 seconds are up, so now we're going to start looking at some pictures. Maybe the pictures will help us remember what those planets are. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. So now we have 4 planets up here. I'm going to give you 10 silent seconds to look at the pictures of these 4 planets. Maybe now we can think about what those names are for these planets. All right, so 10 silent seconds. You're looking at the pictures. Try to remember the names. 10. Five. Ooh, okay. I hope you were looking at these pictures because we're going to start talking about the names now. Now, the first one is, give me a drum roll, give me a drum roll, give me a drum roll. It is Jupiter. The first one is Jupiter. Say Jupiter. Jupiter. And what helps us remember that is Jupiter are the colors. So we see it's kind of orange and brown and white. And then it has this spot right here called a great red spot. All right, next one. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Drum roll is Saturn. Saturn is the next one. And what helps us know that this is Saturn is because of its rings. The rings. Remember, Saturn has 7 rings around it. The rings help us remember that it is Saturn. All right, next one. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. It is Uranus. Uranus. What helps us know that it's Uranus is a color. It's like a light blue, looks like ice, and it has rings. It has a little bit of rings around it. And we're going to learn later we're going to learn a little bit more about all the outer planets having rings. All right, now next one. Give me a drum roll, give me a drum roll, give me a drum roll. The next planet is Neptune. Say Neptune. Neptune. All right, so we got Jupiter. Say Jupiter. We got Saturn. Say Saturn. We got Uranus. Say Uranus. And we got Neptune. Say Neptune. So Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are also called the gas giants. They're also called the what? The gas giants. Now we're going to watch a video about these gas giants or the 4 outer planets. And while you're watching the video, your listening ears are on and your thinking cap is on. After the video, we're going to have some questions that we're going to do together. And on your worksheet, you will have some questions. So this video is super fun. So let's watch it together.
Welcome back! If you were with us last time, then you got to join Squeaks and me on the first half of our tour of our amazing solar system. The solar system is the sun and all of the things that orbit around it. The biggest of these are our 8 planets. Last time, we started with a star at the middle of our solar system, the sun, and we stopped by for visits to Mercury, the smallest planet, followed by Venus, which is the hottest planet.
So I'm going to stop us right here and we're going to review it. I'm going to ask you, is the sun a planet or a star? Is the sun a planet or a star? Yeah, the sun is a star. Remember, the sun is a star. The sun is not a planet. The sun is a star. Say it. The sun is a star.
Then our home, Earth, the only planet that we know that has living things on it, and finally Mars. Those 4 planets are the only rocky planets in our solar system. That means that they have hard, rocky surfaces, and if you could fly there, you could actually stand on them. But way out beyond Mars, you'll find a totally different kind of planet, ones that are made almost completely out of gas. Scientists call these the gas giants. And the first one we'll bump into is also by far the biggest planet in our solar system, Jupiter. This planet is made up entirely of thick layers of gas, and it's so big that Earth could fit into it more than 1,300 times over. It even has more than 60 moons of its own. Jupiter is also a very stormy planet with wild winds whipping all over all the time. One storm called the Great Red Spot has been raging on Jupiter for hundreds of years. The storms sometimes get smaller or bigger, but it has been there for as long as people have been studying Jupiter with telescopes. See you later, storm! Our next planet, Saturn, is also really big and made of gas. But you can tell it apart from Jupiter and other gas giants because of its big, beautiful rings. Actually, all 4 of the gas giants have rings around them, but most of them are so small and faint that it's hard to see them. But Saturn has the biggest and the brightest rings, and they might look fancy, but they're really just made of dust, rocks, and ice. And even though Saturn is really big, it's also very light. Some scientists think that because the gases that make it up are so lightweight, the whole planet would actually be able to float in water. If only we could find a bathtub big enough. Saturn is the furthest planet from the Earth that you can actually see with your own eyes. You'll need a telescope to spot our next gas giant, Uranus. Unlike all the other planets in our solar system, Uranus spins on its side. Nobody's exactly sure why, but it could be that a large object smashed into the planet a long time ago and knocked it sideways. Besides moving differently, Uranus is also a lot colder than the other planets and is sometimes called an ice giant. It has reached the coldest temperature ever measured in our solar system, dipping almost as low as 223 degrees below zero. Oh, brr. But it's not getting much warmer where we're headed. Come on, Squeaks, let's find our last gas giant, Neptune. Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun. It could take up to 12 years to fly to Neptune from Earth. And Neptune takes a really long time to orbit the sun, over 160 Earth years to go around a single time. But it has at least one thing in common with its big brother Jupiter. It also has giant storms swirling on it. Scientists called one of these storms the Great Dark Spot because it looked like a big blotch of dark blue. And this storm was fierce. Scientists think that the winds inside the storm were the strongest, fastest winds anywhere in our solar system. But this storm didn't last as long as the one on Jupiter. The last time astronomers pointed their telescopes at the Great Dark Spot to take a picture of it, it had disappeared. But a new storm has formed on another part of the planet. Whew! That was an awesome trip. Now we've seen all of the planets in our solar system. But what else is out there? Plenty! Those rocky planets and gas giants are just a few of the things in our massive solar system. It also has asteroids and comets and other small worlds made of dust and ice, and almost certainly tons of other things scientists haven't even discovered yet. So grab a telescope and start looking. Maybe you'll discover a new world out there. Thanks for exploring with us, and remember, if you have a question for SciShow Kids, let us know by leaving a comment or emailing us. Thanks, guys. Big, beautiful rings. Actually, all 4 of the gas giants have rings around them, but most of them are so small and faint that it's hard to see them. But Saturn has the biggest.
So I went back and paused or stopped the video right there because I wanted to make sure that you know that all of the 4 gas giants, or the 4 outer planets, they all have rings. But Saturn's rings are the ones that we can see. They are the biggest rings. But all of them have rings. The other rings we can't see because they're we can, they're very, very light. They're very light. So, but for Saturn, we can see those rings. Yeah. So I just wanted you to make sure that you know that all four of the gas giants, all four of the outer planets have rings. They have what? Rings. All right. Now we can go to our next stop. Okay, so for these questions, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about them before we do them together, okay? So I'm going to read it first, and then we're going to read the question together. All right, first Miss Peary's turn, then it will be your turn to read with Miss Peary. All right, what is the biggest planet in the solar system? All right, now let's do it together. What is the biggest planet in the solar system? So 10 seconds, think about it. What is the biggest planet in the solar system? 10, 9, 6. Okay, so the biggest planet in the solar system is... There it is. It is Jupiter. Say Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. What's the biggest planet in the solar system? Jupiter. All right, first Miss Peary's turn, then we'll read it together. Which gas giant's rings is made up of dust, ice, and rocks? One more time, reading with me now. Which gas giant's rings is made up of dust, ice, and rocks? All right, 10 seconds, think about it. All right, time's up. Ooh, are these pictures helping you? And it is Saturn. Saturn's rings are made up of dust, ice, and rocks. What are Saturn's rings made up of? Yep, dust, ice, and rocks. Ooh, now, Miss Peary's turn to read, and then it will be your turn to read with me. Which gas giant is also called an ice giant? All right, read it with me. Which gas giant is also called an ice giant? 10 seconds. It is Uranus. Say Uranus. So which gas giant is also called an ice giant? Which one is it? Yep, Uranus. All right, Miss Peary's turn to read, and then we'll read it together. What is the furthest planet from the sun? All right, let's read it together. What is the furthest planet from the sun? 10 seconds to think, and then we're going to do it together. 10, 10, 9. All right, time's up. The furthest planet from the sun is Neptune. Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun. What's the furthest planet from the sun? Neptune. All right, say it. Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun. Yep, you got it. All right, so we are all done. Make sure to do your worksheet. Have an awesome break. Be safe, stay healthy. I love and miss all of you, and I will see you later. Bye.